Testing. 1 2 3 1 2 3 testing. Yes, are we up and running? You bet your bottom dollar we're up and running, you silly old bastards, you good looking mofos out there. Shout out to the gang. If you've just joined us today, buckle up, buckle down. If you've been with me for some time, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. It's all done and over with. Man, oh man, we're doing it. It is December 26, 2022, baby boys, baby girls. It's another Glad You Made It episode. Where can you find these beautiful videos? On Instagram, on YouTube, on patreon.com/RobSadri every Monday, every Wednesday, and Friday. That's what we do, baby. We just get together, have a little bit of fun. Last Christmas, I give you my fart. Very next day, queefed it away. And this year, I'm keeping my fart. I'll give it to someone special. Special. What's going on, baby? Hope you're all doing well wherever you are, whether you're in Toronto, whether you're in Ontario, anywhere in Canada, West Coast, BC, anywhere in between, further east. What's up, baby? If you're down south in the Americas, if you're in the US, if you're in Mexico, South America, if you are in Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, Australia, all the islands, everybody doing it. What's up, baby boys and baby girls? I hope you guys have had a great holiday season. It is, man, it's done and over with, though. That's what it is. Last Christmas, I gave you my fart. Very next day, queefed it away. This year, I'm keeping my fart. Give it something special. Or something. Baby boys, baby girls, I've had a, let's start with a little bit of, just saying, it's nice. The holidays are nice. I'm very grateful. I'm very appreciative of everything going on in my life. I hope you guys are, finding the holiday season treating you well. That's where I'm at in life. I'm very grateful for a lot of things. Been writing a little bit as per usual, just going down different stuff, trying to come up with a joke here and there, but also, again, it is that time of year where it's like, it's a brand new start. This is where it's a whole new chapter is about to begin. We're about to go into 2023, and it's all about dreaming and dreaming big. Wet dreaming. No, just dreaming, but dreaming nonetheless. And it's all right if you get a wet dream in between. That's completely fine too. But it's about dreaming, baby boy, baby girls out there. You gotta have a dream, man. You gotta chase those dreams. That's what I'm doing. And I gotta do anything in between to make sure that the dream will stay alive. First of all, you gotta chase it. You gotta look after it. You gotta talk to it. You gotta want it. You gotta think about it. You gotta breathe it. You gotta eat it. You gotta after you eat it, you gotta get rid of it. And then eat it again. Consume the dream. It's a cycle, is what I'm trying to say. What are we even talking about today? I don't even know. But that's pretty much all day, every day. Up in this bitch. Where does it go? Who knows? Where will it lead? Good places, in due time. You gotta practice patience first. That's what it is, but I'm very grateful for a lot of things, man. The ability to have a roof over my head, the ability to feed myself, the ability to chase a dream, these are all blessings, and we're very lucky for the most part. If you're tuning in, I'm assuming you're very lucky. Just not because you're tuning into this program, although some say, oh yeah, lucky, but also just, having access to things is what I'm trying to say. If you're living that life where you got access to safety, security, these are all blessings. And you can just, the sky's the limit from there, baby boy, baby girls. What's up? Doing it, man. Doing it. And you got to do different things to tackle life. Sometimes, you might have heard of, some people talk about, you got to pick up a martial art. You got to do the jiu-jitsu. You got to do the karate. You got to do, some do Krav Maga, the ancient art of Krav Maga. I don't practice Krav Maga. I don't know Krav Maga. I don't grab my cock, or locally known as grab me cock. Oh yeah, the ancient art of grab my cock. Oh, you guys haven't heard of this one. Or maybe you have. Murmurs, rumors, whispers. You're like, that's a old wives' tale. That's not true. Grab macaque's just a legend, a folklore to keep the youngins from misbehaving. Or something. Or is it reality, or is it true? Is it true that the art of grab macaque? That's what I meant to say. Very similar sounding, but which came first? Grab-Ma-Caulk came first. That was the original. You don't hear too much about it, but from seashore to seashore, from mountain top to mountain bottom and back up again, local villages would speak of this tale and legend, and make sure that if they ever come across a person who's dabbled in the ancient art of Grab-Ma-Caulk, you do not mess with a fella who knows a Grab-Ma-Caulk. What is it? It's an ancient art. It's a martial art, first of all. Martial art and fart. Men would get together in the nude. And it wasn't one of these like sissy fights like today where I gotta protect the jewels. I gotta wear a cup. Oh, you can't hit it. You can't hit it the back of the head. None of that. It was open space. I'm talking dirt, rattlesnakes, sharp, pointy-edged rocks, bare feet, no clothing, and the aim was to wrestle. And you're gonna try to Grab-Ma-Caulk. That's the whole point of the game. And you were supposed to wrestle your opponent, Grab-Ma-Caulk, rip it off, and whoever was able to rip it off was the champion. It was so brutal that it had to be. Philip III outlawed this ancient sport. Philip III, third and a half at least, you know what I'm talking about? He outlawed it, and he's like, oh, that's not allowed. He wasn't good at it. That's why. Hater. Philip III, you know? Ancient though, ancient. But it stayed, you know, it was a subculture, it was underground, the movement never died because, you know, practitioners of Grab-Ma-Caulk know that it's the only art form in the martial arts that can actually be utilized in real life format. What do I mean by that? When you're out there in a back alley, son, daughter, cousins, distant relatives, far removed, so far removed that we can't even recognize each other. I'm talking to you, sister, mister. We're all one. Shout out to everybody. The point is, if you catch yourself in a back alley and it's about to go down, are you gonna be like, I'm not gonna hit this guy in the groin because all I've been consuming is the UFCs. I know how to go, you know, but that's what it is, baby. UFC is different than real life. And that's where you're gonna need Grab-Ma-Caulk. One smooth movement. You're gonna have to slow this down to just capture what I just did because too fast for the naked eye, for the nude eye. You're not gonna be able to see it. I've been told not to, you know, practice it. I've been told, you know, whoever's been practicing Grab-Ma-Caulk, you know what I mean? Because it's a deadly weapon. That's what it is, baby. I don't even know what we got there, how we got there. I don't even know, but that's what it is, baby. So yeah, you could be out there, you know, practicing Krav-Maga, or if you want to do it a little bit better, you do Grab-Ma-Caulk, or, you know, again, locally pronounced Grab-Ma-Caulk. But these are all the things that you could be occupying yourself. Essentially, what I was just trying to say is that life will throw you different things, and you're gonna have to evaluate and, you know, practice a little bit of this resistance, come back. It's all the same, more or less. Baby boys, baby girls. What a lovely day today. Finally, I gotta be honest with you guys. I'm a little bit relieved because over the past weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday was brutal here in the East Coast. I'm talking about that storm. We lost a lot of good people. I think somewhere around the high 30s in the U.S. died because it was freezing. It's freezing. Cold temperatures here in Toronto was mad. Here's the thing. It's relatively cold in Canada. Winter's cold. You know what it is. If you're Canadian, I'm not gonna be here like, you know, surprise, surprise. It gets cold up in here. We know that. But what distinguishes between a day that's cold and something that's borderline unbearable, some might say, where you gotta be like, you know what, I'm gonna have to shut it down for a day or two until this thing takes it down a level or two. You know what I'm talking about? Once you've reached minus 20 temperatures, minus 20, and then you add in the wind chill factor, and now you're talking about minus 22, minus 23, minus 24, and sometimes in the deep end, when we go into January, February, you'll have days where it's like, oh, it's minus 30, just reg temperature, minus 30, and then we're gonna have some wind in that bitch too, so you're feeling like minus 40 degrees outside. And really cold. Here's what I've noticed for my body and my, like, you know, my threshold for cold. I'm cool with, if there's no wind, I'm cool with minus 19, minus 20, no wind. I'm still cool with it. I'm still like, you know, if I've got proper gear, I'm wearing 2 layers of pants, I'm layered up top, I got my gloves, fingerless gloves, thank you very much. I'm okay. But anything beyond minus 20, and then you add in a wind chill factor, it's a windy, and that's what it was, man. On the weekend, it was hella windy, snowing, windy, cold. And that's what it is, man. You can't normally pee in public, it's frowned upon. But, you know, you definitely can't pee in public during winter, I'll tell you that. Even if it's an emergency, even if it's like, oh man, I'm just gonna drive, I'm gonna be driving, visiting some fam, and oh man, I'm gonna have to, it's midnight or something, I'm gonna have to pull over by the side of the road. No one's in sight. It's a one-way highway. It's a 1-lane highway. It's my way or the highway, will say. You know? No facilities in sight for miles or kilometers or what have you. Whatever's more relatable to you, depending where you live. If you're in Canada, kilometers. Down in the US, miles. Why don't we all just use the same system? Gosh. That, and by the way, while we're on the same system shit, the Fahrenheit, Celsius crap, we need to, like, what is this? What is, I was just trying to, like, be like, what is minus 20, so that when I'm talking about it, it could be relatable to you guys down south. So that when I'm saying minus 20, I want to, what is minus 20 in Fahrenheit? It's weird numbers, because apparently once you get to minus 40, it all levels out. How does that work? What are we even doing here? God. This is why we can't move forward with certain things. It's like, oh, what do we even talk? It's like different languages almost. But it's just weather. We'll get over it. Point is, I don't even have a point. Never had one to begin with. But the point is, fam, that you gotta, you know, on certain days you just gotta shut it down is what I was trying to say, I think. And that's what it was, man. I shut it down for a couple of days because it was just like, oh man, chilly woolly outside. Way too chilly. And that's what it is, man. You have every year, once the first snow hits or once the first snowstorm hits, everybody like forgets to transition. And I've said this before, but I'd like to repeat it so that hopefully down the line, you know, we can have less accidents. Because people will be like, oh, first snowstorm, a 70 car pileup on the highway, 30 car pileup on the highway. You know it's slippery out there. Why you be swerving? Why you be going fast? Why you not be if you give yourself however much distance on regular driving days, double it, triple it up. Better safe than Sowie. Am I right? Or you're like, no, dude, Sowie's pretty good. I want to be Sowie. I'm like, all right. Do you, boo-boo. Do you. Point is that it was, I'm glad that it's a little bit more relaxed now, because initially it was just like, man, it's more, but once that initial frost hits, once that initial real deep cold hits, you're like, oh man, this is going to be like this for the next, like, you know, 2 to 3 months until we hit spring again. So it's just that reminder. It's just that reminder. But it's that, it's a little bit, it's like nature's way of telling you to, you know, it's nature's way of lighting a little fire under your tush. Because it's like, it's go time, baby. That's nature reminding you, you know, nature doesn't stop. Mother Nature don't stop. You got to get that worm, baby bird. You know, you got to chew it up. You got to spit it out. You got to regurgitate to feed you and your family. Youngins, as adults do. You got to take care of the family, man. And that's what it is. So I see everybody out there doing their thing. It makes me happy. The holidays are behind us, though. It's over. It's done. It's done. Is your menorah still lit? Having a difficult time blowing out the last candle on your menorah? Call 1-800-623-6137 and we'll send somebody over with a big old fire extinguisher and we'll put it out. And you're like, I've tried that already. And then we'll beat the light out of that menorah if it's still not going out. Because I believe today is the last day. And if it doesn't go out and you're like, man, this is going to start a fire. This is dangerous. Although that would be, yeah, low-key. If you're going to have like an insurance claim, quote unquote, dude, that's a great, yo, menorahs, pretty lit when it comes to, you know, insurance claims. I'm just saying, you could, you know, be like, oh, I don't even know how this happened. You know what I mean? There was 8 of them. One of me. What are you gonna do? You're outnumbered. It can happen to the best of us. Point is, not saying go down that path or anything, but I'm just saying it does, oh man, it's convenient. Whereas other people, you're gonna have to be like, oh man, my Christmas tree was a real tree. And it was just, my Christmas tree smokes. My Christmas tree passed out smoking, and oh, there it is. Insurance claim. Although you'll be homeless. It's not convenient. I don't even know where I was going with that, but I'm just saying, and it's hard to find a Christmas tree or an evergreen that's smoking. I've seen them. They'll do it. It's frowned upon, but they'll do it. It's what it is, baby. It is Monday. It's the 26th, and what day is today? I believe it's Boxing Day. Fucking again, another martial art. Boxing Day. Boxing Day, baby. I've already knocked out 27 people. Most of them were elderly. Most of them were, people with disabilities, because I'm not going to discriminate and be like, oh, I'm not going to get in a fight with you today on Boxing Day because I feel bad for you. No, dude, I'll knock a paraplegic out of their chair, dude, out of their wheelchair, just so I can be like, we're all the same. I'll do it, dude. I'll trip an old lady. It's Boxing Day. I'll get into a fight with like 3, grandpas playing chess. I'll get in there. I'll mix it up. I'll do it. I've done it every year on Boxing Day. That's what it's all about. I wasn't so good at it initially, but I put my mind to it. I shadow boxed. I boxed myself. I knocked myself out more than I've knocked anybody else out, for that matter. Did I get a little CTE? Probably. Was it worth it? Yeah. You got to make a couple of investments here and there. And that's what I does. And I encourage all you guys to do it as well out there. If you're practicing Boxing Day, make sure to, go in there strapped, baby. Go in there wearing a jock strap, because you never know. Somebody might just pull upon you, and they're fully aware of the deep underground martial art of Krav Maga. And you're going in there, oh, I'm going to box this guy. While you're just like, again, you're playing snooker, they're playing bowling, completely different games. Point is, life is a game. It can be a game, it can be a metaphor for life, or vice versa. And that's what it is, baby. Know your sports. Know your limit, play within it. That's what I've said from the get-go. That's what I'll continue to say till the day I drop. But that's like way, way in the future, dude. I'm gonna drop I'm going for 100, low-key. I've already said it. I've thought about it. I'm going till 100, dude. Anything past 100, like 102, 105, I'll tap out myself. You know what I mean? But that's going into the new year with goals, like longevity. That's another part of the dream, because the dream, that's a long, slow dream. And I'm a dreamer, baby. That's what I do. So I'm like, oh, man, until 100, that gives you enough time to be like, all right, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years of solid career building. 10, 15 years of late adult parenting, and then, or something, I've still not figured out the math, but I'm still thinking you can still become a dad when you're 75, or 75, and then you parent a kid till you're 102. That's good enough parenting for a kid. You're not going to be able to catch the ball or play actually you will. Actually, no, I take it back. You will, because 2030, they've said it, we're doing it. Some of the positive news of the past, because it's so easy to look at the past and be like, what did we see during the past year? Positive notes. And if you can make it till 2030, so I've heard, and I'll say it again, you're going to be, oh man, new body parts. What is that? It's a loose pig with your kidney in it. Feed it well, because it's your kidney. Think about that. Oh, reverse aging mice. We're gonna do it to mice, goldfish, salmon, piglets, horse, some animals with antlers, and then humans. So that's what it is, baby. If you can live up to 2030, that way you can be a parent when you're in your 70s, 80s. More people should do it, because that's what it is, man. Population rates are dropping little by little, so that's what we need. We need old timers hanging on. We need old timers cracking backs, straighten out backs, hitting that box. It is, after all, Boxing Day. So yeah, if you're out there boxing, if you're practicing boxing, make sure to use all the elements to your advantage. Surprise, agility, stability, low center of gravity. Keep your arms straight. Keep your arms tucked in. Keep your arms up. Don't keep them down, unless you're down. Unless you're a downer. Unless you're like way down, dude. Unless you're like a short fella. I'm talking really, really short. Unless you're like a foot tall, dude. Keep it down. Keep it low, because that's where everything is for you. And you're saying that's an anomaly, but we take care of everybody around here. I'm not gonna leave people. Like I said before. Again, anybody's got that like, oh, I'm that, I got that, I'm just a foot tall. I'm a 37-year-old man. I'm just a foot tall. You're part of a gang, baby. Worldwide, global, syndicate, doing it as a gang, and we take care of everybody. The freakishly short person and the freakishly tall people as well. You're not freaks out there, sure, but like maybe you are though. But like let's put a positive spin on that bad boy so that you're like, oh man, look at that, freaky. He's freaky, she's freaky. They'll say that, pointing with their pointing index finger. But that's what it is, man. That's life. So if you're boxing, now that's what I think it is, man. So I've just been boxing for many years, but I'll take it to different dimensions. It's not just like, I'm not this one-dimensional, like just boxer who just boxes on Boxing Day. No, baby. Other days of the year, I'm putting things into boxes. Loose change, put it in a box. Spare food, put it in a box, put it in the fridge, which is ultimately a bigger box. Get a brand new pair of shoes, take it out the box. So, not just putting things in the box, also practice taking things out the box. You know what I mean? Putting people in boxes, do it all the time. Put people in boxes. And then take them out, because I'm like, what's up with boxes and people? I'll make a box, dude. I'll go out there and just make a box, just for the fuck of it. Because that's what I'll do, baby. I like it cubic. Because that's what it is, baby. It's cubist art. Cubism. I put things in boxes, essentially. That's what I do. I'll make a box and not even put anything in it. What's it there for? I don't know. It's a box. I'm boxing on Boxing Day. Of course, some other rumors may be that, Boxing Day is not about martial arts or the arts. It's about retail's getting in there and selling things that they couldn't sell at retail value for a much lesser price, which makes you be like, man, why did I do all this holiday shopping right before Boxing Day? This doesn't even make sense, bro. But that's just a myth, man. If you look at the core, it's all about, oh, you preparing yourself. You preparing yourself. We lost sense of what it means to, what is Boxing Day? We gave into, it had a deeper meaning. Boxing Day was about health, was about community, was about getting there and doing something that's like, oh, physical, but yet spiritual, because you're connecting with other people. You're boxing. But all of a sudden, somewhere along the line, I think it was, I want to say late 70s, we're like, oh, let's turn this into a shopping spree. Let's buy all the crap that we weren't able to sell during the previous fiscal year in this one day, so we can make way for the new things. And that's cool too, baby, because you gotta have new things. I love new things myself, such as dermis, new skin, all day, every day, baby. And it could be a different thing for you. You're like, man, I like to, whatever, buy a new thing. And that's cool. Every year you get a chance, and that's what it is, which makes me think we should, Boxing Day, if anything, it should be before Christmas. But I think you have a day dedicated to, is Black Friday, was Black Friday before Christmas? I'm gonna say yes. Black Friday was before Christmas, I think. I'm gonna go with it. No, I know for a fact Black Friday is before Christmas. So you got some shopping done on sale before Christmas, and then you did regular shopping on Christmas, and then make sure to do more shopping right after Christmas with more discounts. And then come spring, there's still more sales, because you got to get rid of like, oh man, there's still like winter stuff left. And if you're like, man, I know this game. You buy your winter stuff in spring, summer. You buy your summer stuff in fall, winter, because like there's still like remaining from every year, right? But it doesn't make sense for you to go buy like seasonal stuff. So that's what it is, man. Like summertime for me, that's when it's like, oh, we're gonna do Christmas in summertime. It's really hot outside. These evergreens are looking marvelous. I don't even need to go buy a Christmas tree. I could decorate it if I want to, but nature does that for free. You know what I'm talking about? or other instances. I'm just saying, do reverse psychology. If you're like a consumer out there, you got to jujitsu that bad boy and come in there like, oh, I know what you're doing out there, baby. I know what you're doing. It's seasonal sales. I'm going to wait till it's out of season and then shop for it. And then shop. Like right now, you should be shopping, getting ready for next year's Halloween. Think in advance. Think about it. Think about it. Because everything's going to be jacked up to like regular price come Halloween. You're like, Halloween's so far away. Exactly. We just literally passed it. It was Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. So now the next thing, Halloween. Before you know it, you gotta get ready, baby. Nip it in the bud. Get the deals. Get the discounts. And you know everything counts, baby. Discounts, that counts. It's the little things that count. They add up to the big things. That's what I've said from day one. And I'll keep saying it again and again. One step at a time, we're doing it. Baby boys, baby girls, thank you very much for joining me. This is, man, it feels great. The sun is out. I'm looking outside. People are doing their thing. And I'm just happy to be amongst you guys, kicking it with the gang. Whatever you're doing out there, if you're doing open heart surgery, keep on doing it. You know, you got sweat on your forehead, you got blood, your own blood dripping into the patient. That is just a sign of your dedication, not a lack of, you know, standards and procedures. It's a different time and a different place. It needs to be done, you'll say. It's an emergency, and exactly, you don't have a backup team. That's fine. That's fine. One man, he's a doctor and he's also his own nurse. Nurse, hand me the spatula. You know, proper medical equipment. Give me the spatula. That's what they'll say. And you're like, we don't use spatulas. And you know, we do in this operating room. We do if you want to stay alive. Sometimes that's what it takes, doing whatever it takes to get the operation done. And that's what we do around here, baby. We do open heart surgery without washing our hands. We should, probably, we could easily, because that's one thing almost everybody has access to. You're like, why won't you? Risk, baby, risk. Why not? Because like you're going in there with one thing to take care of, but all of a sudden, if this patient all of a sudden has like an extra thing, oh, what is that? Bacteria from the hand transferred over to my body. Now I gotta fight this, you know, potential contamination. It's like, you know, better to go in strong and fight two things if you can, instead of just like tackling one thing like a major open heart surgery. It's just best that way, because that's what, I mean, essentially I'm giving your money's worth. You know what I mean? If you're going in there, you gotta like, oh, if you're going into like a standard procedure, if you're going into like if you're going in my hospital, if you're getting operation done by me, I want to give you the works. If you come in there, you're like, oh, my leg's broken. We'll make sure, you know, if you got one broken leg, we'll make sure the other one's broken too, so that like, oh man, once you come out, you're like, what'd you get fixed? Both my legs. You're like, that's not necessary, but you know, I give more. That's what I does. Baby boys, baby girls, it is Monday. It's the time to, you know, it's again, time to dream big and go strong. And you gotta, you know, there's different stuff happening in and around the world, you know, that we gotta at one point we just gotta like move on with certain things. I want to say this. It's Monday. It's the 26th. The New Year's is right around the corner. I want to say this in certain things. Like, let's just 2023. Because I heard this on the news. Some of you guys and gals out there might have heard it on the news as well. I think it was Stanford University, the same university who, you know, did you enjoy such things as MK Ultra? I'm talking a big project, talking a big old project. Conducted on a small population. Mind control techniques, using drugs, using manipulation, using all sorts of different methods of psychology, trying to like get people to behave in particular manners. But that's for another time. But this time around, you know, the people who brought you MK Ultra, or at least, you know, were part of it, are now doing, you know, back then it was big project conducted on a small populace. Now it's small project conducted on a large populace. I'm talking about the manipulation of words. What you can say, what you can't say. What you can't say, what you can say. What you can or can't. What are you saying? What are you saying out there? I'm saying in 2023 moving forward, let's just go like this, because like people are like, oh, what is there a word that we should like Is there is there a word that we should like not use anymore, or should I be worried about a word? No, no. There's literally no words out there that you can, because like it's all context, it's all setting, and essentially it's what you're saying. And people be talking all day, every day. So, but like Stanford came out and they're like, just so we, just so you know, the public, what is, after all the 3 years coming out the schmandy pandy, what does the public need? We're gonna spend millions of dollars on resources, of tuition fees, of university students' time, energy, professors. We're like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna let's figure out let's make a list. Let's take all this money, energy, resources, and come up with a list of particular words that people can't say. Because if they say, man, it's time for you to stop saying certain words. I can't remember everything that I read on the list. Maybe I'll pull it up. Let's pull it up real quick because it's funny. Bear with me a few seconds here, gang. This is Stanford releasing a... Boom. Hold on a sec. Let's see here. All right. Stanford's banned word list. What are some of the words that are banned? Bear with me a few seconds. Again, this is all, because this is a one-man operation. This is a one-man band. And sometimes it takes a little time. I can't find it right now. I can't find it, but I did see. Bear with me a few seconds. We're going to find it. We're going to find it together. Here we go. Recent attempt by Stanford University, California to propagate inclusive language has angered many users online. People are poking fun at the institution's new harmful language list. The new and improved list has raised many questions, as it had supposedly listed words like American. That's a word. They're saying American. Good old Merkin is apparently you're not supposed to use American. Why? I don't even know. It doesn't even make sense. And you're an American institution living in America. And you're going out saying you can't use the word America. Or brave. That's another one. You can't say brave apparently. That's because what is that? What is that? Because brave, we all know what brave. Man, what a dirty, rotten word brave is. What a bad attribute. It's because that's what it is, man. Tired of seeing bravery. Tired of seeing people, acting brave, taking, doing things. What is, taking initiative, doing things that are maybe difficult or challenging, putting themselves out there, taking one for the team, perhaps. Addicted is apparently, you can't say addicted apparently. I'm not even sure if this is the correct list or not. But, words essentially. Harmful words. The point is that I was trying to say this. 2023, are there any words that we shouldn't use? No, you should use all the words that you want. It's all context, it's all setting, it's all where you're at. And know your people. Read the room. What can you say? What can you say? You can literally almost say anything to anyone, depending on the context and the setting. And what is your intent? But that's what it is. We want to concentrate on. If we want to concentrate on, you can't say this word or that word. I say, that's what it is. You can say every word 20. Let's just nip it in the bud. I think this is just, because at the end of the day, if we're gonna go down this list, it's just gonna snowball and add. You're gonna have. I don't even know what the full list of it is. It doesn't even matter. It could be 2 words. It doesn't matter. It's gonna snowball to the point where you're like, I'm having a difficult time speaking out here. Can't communicate with you guys. Oh, I'm sorry. I said guys. I meant to say guys and dolls. But you're not dolls. You're not figurines. You know what I mean. You got tits and a vag. But I still assume I can refer to you guys as guys, because when you're calling out to your fellow friends, you're like, hey gang, hey guys. You don't necessarily mean that everybody in that group's got a penis. Some might not. It doesn't even matter. You're like, hey, let's do this, guys. Man, you can't even say, you know what I mean? It's just like everything is gonna be, and that's what it is. Boxing Day, baby. And it's time to shatter these boxes. shadow box yourself out of this situation by just being like, you know what? Enough is enough. You know? Because that's what it is, man. You let things get away. It just takes, but that's what it is, man. I just wonder, I wonder why, but at the same rate, I'm like, you know what? It just like, it's, I don't know why. I don't know. I don't have the answers. I don't know why a prestigious university, they're like a good university, right? It's like a good, Stanford's a good university, quote unquote, good, like, in terms of like education, standards or something, it's supposed to be like, oh, but that's just one example of one university, and a lot, and this is what it is, man. We perpetuate these ideas in the in the classrooms, in the university ground, and then we distribute people all into different aspects of society, and that really gets into different positions and jobs with these certain notions of what it is to be a flawed. We're flawed humans. We're all flawed humans, and then that's what it is. You're saying things that are, we're creating these, quote unquote, I don't even know what it is. Like, oh, it's like setting up these unattainable, like fake moral standards. Oh, if you say a word, you're being harmful. And that in itself, it takes away from real harm, because there's real legit harm in the world, man. There's legit, but like you and I, for the best part of our days, we're living a gooch life all together. Everybody mingling, ladies, gents, doing our thing, man. But that's what it is. I wonder why, but at the same time, I'm like, man, this is weird. This is weird. I don't know why a university or many universities or like institutions of education would go down that path. But I say, man, how do you fight it? You keep your kids at home. You self-educate. And that doesn't work either, man. Your kids are gonna be like, if you only like, that's what it is. Maybe don't send them to college or university. Maybe that's like, unless they want to be like a doctor or like a lawyer or an engineer. If your kid's like, I'm gonna come out and say this. If your kid wants to get into any like, and this is a person who's been in these, like I've done a little teeny tiny stretch of a undergrad degree, no big deal or anything like that, but I did, it was in the field of social studies, or I guess liberal sciences. If your kid's going into be like, I want to go into the liberal arts, the lib sciences, maybe just be like, don't, maybe just be like, don't, or do, because there's legit like good things about, no man, that's not good, damn it. What's the solution? The solution is that we need to just like, I don't even know what the solution is, but think about it. Send your kids to higher education. Let your kids get educate. Give your kids the best chance at an education that allows them to aim high. There it is. Something along those lines. Keep on, education is good. I am a big believer of education. You can't, or we can like experiment. We can just like, let's experiment. Let's pick 100 kids and not, what would happen if you wouldn't send kids to school? Like I do legitimately imagine like, if not to like say like, let them just run like little wild animals, like squirrels and like, I'm not saying like, I'm not talking about like feral animals here. I'm talking about like, what if like a different way of doing things? What if it was like, man, you pay attention a little bit, and it's like you do schooling, but then you pay attention to the kid and like kind of figure out like, oh man, they may be leaning towards a little bit like they're into the sciences, or they're good at math, or they're like, they're out there making potions at like 7 years old, or they've blown up the garage 2 times already, or the garage. I think it's the garage. Get out the garage. Or get in the garage, because you want to be in the, that's what it is. I'm saying maybe they're like, oh, they're in the tool shed, playing with the tools, baby, cutting, sewing, hammering, cutting, screwing, unscrewing, drilling, hard drilling. They're good with the hands. Maybe another one's, and then that's what it is. You find out what, and then you just like, how we have like, because you see this with like. Because you do see instances like you see it with professional athletes. That's what I'm kind of talking about, right? Like professional athletes, or like, or somebody who maybe this particular one's probably not the best example, like child stars, quote unquote, because they get like, they don't really like do regular education. Some of them do, but, and things are changing. But the thing was, you'd have a kid who's like, whatever, however many, 7, 10 years old, and they start, little acting gigs here, and then they go into, they get a little bit of education, obviously. They're not like completely like, they get an education, but like that's what they're working towards something, and they're still so that's what I say we do, and we do that with like, you're like, man, how does a Messi happen? How does a Ronaldo happen? How does a Mbappe happen? Because these kids go to like, early on somebody found out, man, this kid's good at something. Let's and it's difficult, but that takes time, resources, energy. And you're gonna have to be like, man, it's hard because initially everybody's like, I want to find out what this kid's good at. And like, and you might get tired easily. You're like, man, he's showing potential, or she's showing potential in this thing. And then, oh, is it this thing that we should be concentrating on, or is it another thing? Should she or he try another thing? And the whole dance balance of things. But essentially, what I'm saying is maybe the education institutions need to just be like, man, we should like pay attention more to the youth or something, and then like do a better job at like understand, so that especially with the way like tech is moving, and like innovation needs to be done in terms of like creating more jobs, so that we can, because a lot of jobs are becoming automated too, you know what I mean? It's like, do you really need to go, I'm just trying to like, I'm like reflecting on the things that I've retained from like, let's say kindergarten till grade 12. I can't say I retained too much of like, I if I were to do one of the quizzes from any grade right now, I'd probably like not do well. You know what I mean? I'll do all right, but you know what I mean? Like, how much information do you, so it's just like, man, we take like the best years of people's lives and we put them into institutions, and like, and then we teach them to not say words. And that's what and they come out in their mid-20s and they're like, all right, I want to go out there and not say words. So it's funny, but it's also, man, it's like, man, we need to like get certain things that you need to dream big and nip it in the bud and then move forward, so that we're out there, baby, creating, we're dancing, we're using deodorant with no aluminum in it, and we're raving, and my pit's in your face and your pit's in my face, and we're all just like, oh, it's a rave, and we're like cultivating in the middle of the rave. I don't know how we got there, but we're raving essentially because it's Monday, and that's what we do, baby. And you're like, that rules. It does rule, doesn't it? Deodorant rules. Good deodorant. I did hear that you're not supposed to have aluminum in your deodorant, and I recently just looked for one that doesn't have aluminum. Apparently mine didn't have aluminum, but I wasn't even aware that, like, low-key, I know I'm putting like substances on my body and whatever, like anybody else doing anything else out there, like, oh, I'm going to consume this thing, but what's in it, what's not in it? But then I heard you're not supposed to consume aluminum on your pits. It's not good for you, apparently. And I'm like, shit, for how long have I been consuming potentially a deodorant that's got aluminum in it? Apparently not long, because I've been buying the same one. It's a good one. It's not like the best one out there, it's like, it's not like a bar of aluminum. But although I'll say this, if there was a bar of aluminum that's just like, really good for the budget, nice on the pocket, if I'm like saving hundreds of thousands of dollars in the length of, let's say, 10 years, because I'm consuming aluminum only, no deodorant for this guy, then it's worth it. You're like, man, you'll end up with like pit cancer or like titty cancer. I'm like, man, but the money I saved. But that's not the case. I'm not saving money. And mine doesn't come with aluminum. I didn't even know that was a thing. Why would you even put aluminum in there? Why would you even put aluminum in deodorant? And like, what happens once like the deodorant, do you end up with a residue of aluminum? Can you, at the end of the day, people who use aluminum deodorant, do they end up with like, a bar of aluminum or like a drip of aluminum? Can you take that aluminum and like, make it into like, can you add it up, ball it up, and then like, sell it? It's not worth much, but I'm just saying, if you end up with like aluminum on your pits, you might as well. Things that you could be doing, man. They'll take our guns away, but they'll never take our porcupines. That's what I've said from day one. I'll keep saying it again, because that's what it is, man. You'll hear different things and you're like, man, I don't want our guns being taken away. I don't either. I don't even have a gun, but I'm just saying it's been in the news lately, and I'm just like, man. But these recent spikes of like a little bit of violence here and there, I'm just like thinking, man, if each individual was like, concealed carrying, could they have been preventing themselves from like, it's crazy, man. I just saw a video of another lady the other day, I think holding up another lady in Walmart. This lady was holding some other lady up, I think a cashier at a Walmart, I don't know where, but they got held up, and this lady had a gap. And she's like, it's about to go down, get me a news anchor, dude. Like, get me a news anchor. And there were people like filming, I'm like, oh man. Oh man. Apparently she got shot by the popo, by the cops. Thank you very much. That's crazy, dude. I saw that. I was legit, my palms sweaty. And nerves just like, because I'm like, man, this poor cashier lady looks so fucking like any of us would be, like out of place, like wrong time, wrong place, wrong shift. And she's being held up, and I'm just like, fuck. Eventually the cops do get there and think, but somebody was recording, and there was other people in the Walmart. I'm just like, man, this is insane. And like, again, the other week we just had a couple of incidents here in the GTA that made like, a big wave of sorts in terms. So I'm just like thinking, that's why I don't want like guns being taken, or like, not that people even here in Canada use guns like that for protective purposes or anything, but I think it's just like, extreme of anything isn't good. Let's just put it that way. You know what I mean? Extreme is, so you want to be somewhere in the middle. That's the so-so mentality right there down the center. That's why it's there up on the wall. So you remember, brain fart, when all the words try to come out all at the same time. And the gears just jam up. I was just trying to say it's up on the wall to remind you that right there in the middle, we try to be there, somewhere in the middle. And not go to any extreme. Up, down, left, right, north, south, east, west. Man. Point is that I sounded retarded for a second. Happens. Point is, I was just thinking, I'm like, man, if you can't open carry or conceal carry weapons, maybe you can, that's what it is, man. Carry a porcupine, carry a little skunk. You're being held up. Fucking open up, let's open up the old blazer, cardigan, long jacket, overcoat. Let's open it up. What do you got hanging in there? Oh, nothing but a couple of skunks. Nothing but a fat, juicy porcupine on my belly, right here. Pointing at every direction. It's like the original shotgun, essentially. But you never know. That's what it is. You might you might get a little bit, if that porcupine's on your belly resting and you get a little bit gassy, you release a little gas, it feels intimidated. Oh, release all the pines. The porcupine. Oh, people are blinded. And that's why we don't allow that, apparently. Because of like safety and like, oh, too many people lost their eyes. Why are you staring at my porcupine, dude? It's like right there. Like stay, That's what it is. If that lady in Walmart had a porcupine attached to her back or belly, we wouldn't be here. Well, she's here now, and I'm glad to see that she's here. Not so happy for the other lady who got shot. I don't know what her deal was, man. She was just like holding up a lady, a cashier lady, a beautiful cashier lady in Walmart. She's like, got me the camera crew of a news anchor station. Maybe she had a good product, dude. Maybe she was like, man, tired of not being able to get on Shark Tank or Dragon's Breath. I got a product and I want to make a pitch. They're like, this is not the best way to do it. But that's what it is, man. That's what it is. So it's a new year right around the corner. I want us to go in there dreaming big, doing everything you can in your power to make things happen for yourselves. I'm trying to do the same little by little. And that's what it is, man. Everybody's got a different dream. Somebody, and I see different beautiful people of all walks of life, all day, every day. Man. But remember that time just a few minutes ago? We were trying to say a sentence that didn't come out right. Funny. Point is that I see wonderful, beautiful people of all walks of life, all day, every day. Students, middle-aged men, elder men, elder ladies, middle-aged ladies, ladies in their, mid 20s, early 20s, 30s, because I'm in that age range of like, adults doing everything that they can to do, like, somebody's go, oh, I'm going to like, I want to do a degree here. I want to start a business that I can work from home and then run a little side shift right here. Whatever you're doing, I commend you. I want to just let you know that I've got your back. Thank you for having my back. Where do we do it? We do it every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday on Instagram, on YouTube, patreon.com/RobSaturday. There's 3 platforms, 3 of the world's biggest platforms. The biggest platforms. They're so big. They're huge. Oh, and I'm on it. And we're on it together. So subscribe on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram if you'd like to fiscally support the show. Check out patreon.com/RobSaturday. Once again, that's patreon.com/RobSaturday. This is a one-man band. It's a one-man operation for the time being. Of course, we'd love to work with others, and I'm sure we will down the line. I love you all. And yes, by subscribing to YouTube, you will prevent you and your family from catching a lifetime of, you won't get mercury poisoning. And your intestines will remain intact. Let's just put it that way. Are you tired of having loose intestines? Well, let's wrap it up, baby, because this program is about keeping it tight. I want your bottoms tight. I want you to keep it tight at the top as well. Mid-core section is really like where it's at. I want to keep it tight, but essentially I'm here to I'm here for you, and thank you for being here for me, for letting me be a part of your lives, and again, for being a part of my life as well. This is just the beginning, baby boys and baby girls. Let's take it away like how we started. Last Christmas, I gave you my fart. The very next day, I quiffed it away. This year, I'm keeping my fart. Give it to someone special. Peace out.